going to be sitting in the wings this whole time. I mean, look how he's got Europe wrapped up to like how he has Europe, with its leaders, letting all the Muslims in, tear their own country apart. Women are getting gang raped all over the place. The politicians out there are saying, well, you're just such a phobe. Why don't you just like it when you get raped? I mean, it's basically what they're doing. I can't believe nobody in Europe is like rosing up and taking them out. I mean, we're there too. We're there too. Because like these 3 kids that gang raped that 5-year-old girl up in Idaho, in Twin Falls, Idaho. Nobody's done nothing about that. And the judge and the DA up there bitched out the family of the girl that got raped. They're like, how dare you file charges? Who do you think you are? You think you're special or something? And Idaho's supposed to be where there's all these militias. I'm like, well, pussy-ass wimp militias, Because otherwise, that would already be way bigger of a head story, because that judge and DA would be gone. Same with those families. Because when those 3 kids gang raped that girl, they went and told the parents, Muslim parents, and the Muslim parents, the dads were like high-fiving, like, right on, you took out an infidel. Look what you did to an infidel. To a 5-year-old little girl. And they're still there. They're still up there in Twin Falls. Like nothing ever happened. And like that cop in Minnesota that murdered that woman, that Muslim cop. She calls because some guy is sitting on the wall, of her backyard. Cops show up. They don't even go up to the door. They sit in the street and just sit there, like looking at her place, like looking around. She walks out. As soon as she gets up close to the car, the Muslim cop pulls out his gun and just bam, 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 empties the gun on her and kills her. He didn't even get questioned. He's on the job still. It's just like he got out of the car, looked around for a minute, got back in the car, and they drove off. And it was over nothing. No one even called. That's what they're acting like. And the mayor up there in Minnesota said, well, there's no law that says we have to interrogate him. We have to question him. There's no law making us question him. I'm like, the motherfucker just killed a woman, and you're saying there's no law to even question him? I mean, the cases like this are like endless in this country now. There's like, I don't even know how many, because I keep up on it, as you could tell. I look for all of this. Anyways, we're there ourselves. England's got its war going on with Muslim gangs kidnapping, young homeless girls and forcing them into prostitution. And the government standing behind them. I mean, there's a couple out there that got an organization called Britain First. And they're trying to put the girl in prison. It's a guy and girl that run it. Because they spoke out against this, I can't remember what they call it. There's a name for it, where they kidnap these girls and force them into prostitution for the Muslims. So these Muslims can make money off of them. And finally it broke, but the local, police department and government and everything was standing behind them. Was standing behind these Muslims kidnapping girls and forcing them into prostitution. And because they broke the story, this Britain First couple, they're trying to put them in prison for it, for breaking the story. I mean, the people of this world, the Christians, are at war with Satan's people. These are Satan's people, and they're doing Satan's work. And that's flat out it. Europe's full of it now, but there's enough people in Europe stupid enough to believe their lies or vote for them, or maybe they're just rigging all the elections, because how do you know? Everybody you talk to says they're voting for the person that's right. The person that's wrong somehow wins. And you're like, who voted for? So it's basically what I was thinking when Obama won the second time, and same with Hillary. I've maybe ran into 2 people that voted for Hillary and Obama back when. Everybody else voted for Romney or, Trump this time around. And I'm going, who voted for him? And I do a lot of the country. I don't just live and stay in one spot. So, unless it's like illegals or something like that, which I don't go out there and ask illegals who they voted for. So that's what this is. This main deal is Obama is still working at taking over the UN. The proof is what he did while he was president, how he did everything against this country he could and for every other country. He tried taking everything he could from this country and giving it to every other country. And his reason was so when he left office, he figured he would just move right into being chairman of the UN. That all the other countries would love him, because of what he did against this country and for them. And it didn't work. Surprisingly too, even like Saudi Arabia, they were like, dude, we don't want you to run us. We don't want you to be in control of the world. You know, look what you did to your own country. This is how stupid they are. But then again, that's how stupid Satan is. Satan thought he could overthrow God and take over heaven. You know, did he really think that was going to work? But that's the kind of people these people are. They come up with whatever lie that sounds the best to them, and then they're just like, no, that's the truth. That's the truth no matter what. You know, it's totally how they are. Like this guy that just wrote this book, stating all this crap about Trump, about how all his people are against him, and Bannon said he's an idiot, and, you know, and Spicer said this, and that person said that, and people went and asked him, they're like, I never said that. You know, where the hell does he get off? So they interview this guy that wrote this book, and they're like, well, where's the proof? He goes, well, the proof is in the book. And they're like, well, how's that the proof? Where's your proof, your recordings or your notes or something? Well, I don't have that. But just read the book, and if it sounds right to you, then it's the truth. That's how Satanists are. They just come up with any lie that sounds best to them, and to them, hey, that's what I want the truth to be, so it's the truth. That's the truth, whatever lie I come up with. And anyways, you know, it's not going to be too long before Lucifer has them all. But that's how they are. And this is just a wake-up call about Obama. Don't fall asleep at the wheel like everybody did with bin Laden. And wait until it's too late. Keep an eye on Obama, where he's going and what he's doing. And that's like an ultimate deal. If you put somebody in office in this country as president that will hand this country over to the UN, you could kiss it all goodbye. Because it's just going to take one more of them, one more Democrat president, or even a rhino. You know, because there's people in the Republican Party that are just as evil, just as satanic, you know, like Paul Ryan or McConnell. You don't want either of those to become president, because this country will be done in a minute. They sold their soul to get to where they are. They're undercover, you know, Democrats, you know, acting like they're Republicans. The only time they do the conservative thing is when they have to, like they just had to with this tax bill. But to them, that's nothing. The ultimate goal is hand this country over to the UN so the Antichrist can take over, and then it's done. Because once the Antichrist takes power, you're going to find out what starvation and third world country, what it's like to live in a third world country and all that, like right away. You know, and then you could sit and say, I didn't know, but I'm too stupid, but I'm a retard, I wasn't paying attention, it's not my fault, I didn't do it, why do I have to do anything, why do I have to think, why do I have to, you know? If you're going to be a retard, don't vote, alright? And if you do vote for Satanism, like voting for Clinton the second time, or Obama the second time, or Hillary this last time, well, then don't complain when Lucifer gets a hold of you, alright? When you die and Lucifer gets a hold of you, don't complain, alright? Because that's exactly flat out bottom line where you're going. A lot of people like to think, well, I'm not a serial killer. What? Do you think the only people in hell are serial killers? You think nobody else is in hell but serial killers? No, anybody who sold their soul for fame or fortune or did Lucifer's work, you know, or even read Revelations 21:8, chapter 21, verse 8. You know, all those that are liars, that are whoremongers, that are thieves, that are, you know, I mean, there's a list. They're all going to have their eternity in the lake of fire. And that's just how it is. Revelations chapter 21, verse 8. All right, you should have it by now. Just keep an eye on Obama, and do not let him become chairman of the UN, which the key thing with that is do not let another Democrat or a rhino get into the White House. Make sure if it's somebody that, no matter who it is, it's somebody solid like Trump, solid Christian, because we're there. These are the last days, just like it's written. And anybody who gets in that office now is going to either be fighting for what's right, you know, what Christ says, or Lucifer. And there's eons of forms of Satanism. You know, there's all sorts of religions that are anti-Christ, anti-God, you know, like God of Abraham is what I mean. And that's what it says in the Bible too. Any religion that does not accept Christ is a religion of Satanism. That's just what it is. And I already know there's eons of people out there that like to think, well, how do you know? And prove it, and prove this. No, it's up to you to prove it. If you don't want to end up in hell, it's up to you to prove to yourself what's what and find out what's what. It's not my job. I didn't give birth to you. I didn't raise you, you know. And the last thing I'm going to sure as hell do is breastfeed you now. You know, I get that all the time on here. You know, people like curling up in the fetal position, you know, pretty much, and you know, begging me to breastfeed them as far as the facts of life goes. No, you got to find out yourself. You know, and you just better make sure you find out that which is right, because if you go following something that's wrong or evil or against God and Christ, well, don't complain when Lucifer gets a hold of you. That's it, flat out. Okay, I only got so much time on this, so I guess that's about it. Till next time.